Welcome to Your Vertical Hope. Thank you for tuning in today. Until I see you again, I bless you. Amen? Amen. Bye-bye. Welcome to the Vertical Hope Show. I'm your host, Michelle Davenport, and we are here with Trisha, and she is here to talk to us about how to create your own workplace in your home so you can be financially stable and not have to leave every day and miss your children's baseball or football games. And just, she's here to, in essence, empower women to take control of them being able to stay at home or go out in the work field. Not that going out is a bad thing if that's your choice, but she's here to talk to us about how she's created a business and an opportunity for women that do choose to stay home but still need to make an income. Correct?
Exactly.
All righty,
Yep.
girl.
Yeah.
All righty, let's get into it. So how did this idea hit you?
Well, I grew up with a mom who was an entrepreneur. She owned a craft store for over 30 years.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
In the middle of nowhere.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love your mama.
So she followed her passion and she
Yeah.
wanted to do that. And so it was in the middle of nowhere on I-70, and she had that for over 30 years. So that's what I grew up with entrepreneurship.
Great example.
Yeah, in retail. And I just kind of had that love of entrepreneurship. I wanted to have my own business. But I kind of fought it for a while.
Yeah.
The stubborn kid was like, I'm not going to follow in my mom's footsteps.
I'm not gonna do it. It's funny how they do that. They're like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And then you see, like my oldest daughter, she's, I started sourdough, right? Oh God, over a decade ago. And now she does sourdough, but she doesn't only do sourdough, which she got my starter, which I think is cool. So I'm going to brag on my daughter for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
She started her own cottage porch pickup in Independence, Missouri. So if you need to find her on Facebook, it's called Mama J's Bakery, and she's amazing. But you know what? She grew up in a house where her mama was always cooking, and I learned how to cook from watching Rachel Ray and Martha Stewart. Then I was like, okay, I've mastered Martha Stewart. Now I need to do something in 30 minutes or less. Yeah. My kids are growing. But she was raised in that atmosphere. And now,
and look what
and at first, that's what I'm saying. At first, she didn't even want to learn how to cook, But now she's got her own business, her own bakery that she's making homemade jams and
right.
Dang,
does she stay home with kids?
She has 2 kids. She homeschools both of them. She has a homestead where she has chickens and ducks and rabbits, and she sells her eggs and makes homemade jam. My daughter's canning, for heaven's sakes.
I love it.
I mean, from a child that really didn't even want to know how to cook, is now created a business of cooking. So that's just a piggyback off you watching your mama. That's amazing. So anyway, let's get back to you.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's amazing.
And I fought that for a while, and that's probably natural for a girl to not initially want to be like her mom.
Right,
Then
I feel like
when she gets a little more mature, she realizes that's the way to go.
That's exactly who I want to be like.
I know.
I want to be that woman of God. I just absolutely want to.
Right.
Hopefully we're raising those kind of children.
So I actually went into kinesiology, exercise science. So I worked with athletes. I moved to Philadelphia and worked with athletes out there. I moved to Colorado, worked with athletes, high-level athletes.
Wow.
And it just wasn't fulfilling for me. It just wasn't. The industry was a little too frustrating for me. So I actually did real estate for a while. I mean, I'm trying to, find my thing.
Find it.
And it just took a long time for me to just say, okay, I'm going to just,
I'm going to do it.
buckle down and do it.
Yeah.
But the turning point was I was working as a sales manager at 24 Hour Fitness in Overland Park. Lee Summit to Overland Park in rush hour traffic is absolutely no fun.
No.
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 And we live out kind of in the boonies, a couple acre property, and so that trip was not ideal for me.
Right.
And it was on my way back from work. I was in rush hour traffic, bumper to bumper, late for my son's baseball game, just almost in tears because I'm missing it. I'm missing all the things. And I just realized I'm missing dinner at night. Sometimes I have to leave before they're up in the morning, so I can't see them to the bus. I was missing all the things that I wanted in my life was to raise a family.
Right.
And I really wasn't doing that. And my husband supported me. He knew that I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I already had an Etsy shop, but it wasn't full time. It was
Okay.
just kind of random things put on there to see if I could make money, and
Sure.
just to fulfill that creativity. And, in me. And then so I finally started kind of researching different things, and like, okay, I was watching. I see your Magnolia sticker. I was watching Fixer Upper.
I love Fixer Upper.
And they had Jimmy Dawn on there
Yeah.
who cut metal signs.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, that is really cool. And I wanted to do something that was different. I didn't
Right.
want, at first I was repurposing furniture, and I'm like, well, everybody can do that.
Yeah.
I want to do something different that
Right,
makes me
right.
stand out.
Right.
And I wanted it to be a streamlined process. I wanted to turn this into a business, not
Right,
just
right.
a hobby.
Right.
So I found metalworking, and I researched lasers and water jets and plasma cutters, and I landed on the plasma cutter. It was an investment.
Yes.
I had to use my dad's workshop to start. Had to buy all the equipment, figure it all out.
Wow.
I learned everything. I put the whole thing together myself, and I figured it all out on my own.
That is incredible.
And I dove all in because I said I want to be at home and still fulfill my need for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and to create.
And to create something of my own and contribute financially.
Right.
I didn't have it in me to just be a stay-at-home mom. I'm too ADHD into like I need to be doing something.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was home teaching my children, I was getting my associate's biblical degree. I was going to school as I was learning Hebrew while I was trying to teach English.
Right. Yeah. That's
Trying
how
is
I
a
do.
key word. Yeah. Yeah. I always had something going.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
And
always.
no shade on stay-at-home moms because
No.
they do the things that I don't do. Which
Yeah.
is,
No, and I did stay home too, but I also got 2 degrees while I was staying.
Yeah.
I got an interior design degree. It was a 2-year program that I finished in 1 year because I'm like that overachiever. Let me take 4 classes a night instead of 2 because I want to get this done in 1 year. And then I did all that, and then it was like, I don't know, a couple of years later, the Lord called me to full-time ministry. So I got ordained and then got my biblical associate's degree after that.
Wow,
so,
that's
But that
amazing.
did take me a few years to get. But anyway, I got it. But yeah, that's staying
so-
home mom and pursuing what you do.
Yeah, and it was a complete pivot. I felt obligated to stay with kinesiology for so long.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like that's what I was supposed to do. Whatever I graduated with, I was supposed to stick with it. And I feel like a lot of women out there have that obligation.
Right.
To stick with something or a job they don't love.
Especially if they paid money.
Yeah.
I think women, and especially when they paid money for something, they feel guilty if they're not using it to its full potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I went through that with the interior design. I thought, well, I'll just design my friends' houses.
Yeah, right.
I'll just use my degree to help people and not really make money. But
Yeah, because
anyway.
when you get asked, what did you graduate with? Well, kinesiology. What do you do now? Make metal signs.
I have an Etsy shop. I make metal signs. You know what? And that's just, sometimes, don't you believe this? Sometimes, just to help other women or men who might be watching the show, sometimes there is a path you take to lead you to the path you're meant to be on. Right?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
so, because it's like I've said a million times, we make out our paths, but God orders our steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's a great example how we're in life go, well, I want to be this. And then the Lord, like I was always supposed to be a minister.
Yeah.
I was always supposed to write books. I was always supposed to do what I'm doing now.
Right.
But there was a path that I personally took that wasn't, he graced it, but doesn't mean that was his purpose and plan
Right.
for me in this life.
Right. And that's why I kind of created a workshop called To Create.
To create.
Because I feel like women have that calling. Not everyone, there's a lot of women out there that are meant to be in the workforce.
Yeah, and they're very good at it. And they're good at it. They're good at what they do.
Some women are not.
Yeah.
And they are meant to be at home, and they're called by God, and their heart is pulling them home. They just don't know how to do it.
Right.
And so that's what my workshop is. It's going to teach them how to create this life at home, how to work with children around, how to do all the website sales, if they wanted to just stay at home or if they wanted to go out and do vendor shows or, things like that. So it's really kind of the logistics of creating a business.
And you need that.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest fear for women not to do it is because they don't have the logistics. They don't have a map. They don't have somebody saying, this is how I did it. These are some things I learned. Let me pass that wisdom on to you. You won't make the mistakes that I made. You can go make your own mistakes, but these ones you won't because I've already learned from them and how to set up your website. And I think the biggest fear in that is just the not knowing.
Yes. And it's the silliest things that hold them up to, like shipping.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how many people I get questions like, but I don't know how to ship. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really?
Really? Don't let that be your quicksand.
Okay.
Don't
I'll
let
solve all
that
your
sink
problems.
you. You know, you don't know how to ship. I mean, when I was called to film TV, you know, I was just like, well, I didn't have lighting, I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a mic, I didn't know how to edit, I didn't know how to do any of it. But there is certain personalities you just jump before they see the full field, right? You're like, you don't have to fill that bill full first. I'll jump. I'll trust that there'll be water once I hit it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Figured all that stuff out. You know, shipping was a problem for me when I didn't take time to think about it and be efficient with my time.
Right.
And so that's where I come in as a high performance coach as well. So I'll teach the logistics. But God called me to become a high performance coach. So I was called to create, but now I'm called to help. And I'm called to help those moms get back in home when they, you know, and create something for themselves.
Tell the audience what the definition is for high performance coach. Some of them may not know what that really means.
Right. So I take whatever your desires are to the next level, and I help you create that through efficiency, through clarity, productivity, and really just kind of get you on the right mindset and the right pathway to think a different way. I don't tell them how to think. I teach them how to think differently about the things that they're doing by asking all the right questions, and they can come to the answers themselves.
Yeah.
So
because everybody's different.
Yes,
it's going to be different. So you may ask me a question, I have an answer, but you ask the girl next to me with the same question, we'll have a totally different answer because we're different.
And I dig. I dig deep. And, you know, I had a client she's a retail shop owner here in Lee Summit, and a very successful one, looking to open her second shop. And it's just the digging in the places in her life that she has never had someone ask her questions about. Wow. That exposes so much potential that she didn't know she had.
Wow.
And so it's
incredible.
Yeah, it's a really cool process. So not only do I teach the logistics of starting your business, but also kind of get into the mindset and where are you up here? Mm-hmm. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for success? Some people are afraid of failure. Some people are afraid of success. And that's what's going to hold them back. And they don't even know that. So exposing those kinds of fears and overcoming them is a major obstacle.
That is. And do you teach that in your class?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you give them an idea, break down, because we do have time, so let's break down what a class may look like. And I don't know if you're comfortable in sharing prices, or you can have them contact you personally, but if you don't feel comfortable, because it kind of just put you on the spot there, you know, but if you don't, I mean, I'm cool with that either way, but maybe show them what your class looks like break it down, and then maybe if there's different classes or just one, just give them a price.
Yeah.
And at the end, we'll let you know how you get a hold of her for this particular thing that she's doing right now in her life.
Yeah, so right now I've got an assessment. Okay. And that's really for those people who are thinking, I think I want to start a business from home. I don't like my job. I don't know exactly. Take this assessment. And it's a great indicator of where you are in your life. And it basically says, oh man, I need to work on my finances, or I need to work on my space. I don't have the space or the equipment, or I don't know anything about technology, or I don't know anything about marketing and sales.
Yeah.
It's a really good indicator of where you're lacking in that process. So that assessment is the first thing that they really should do.
Okay, so you're going to do assessment
and
first.
That's free.
And you should get an assessment, because you need to know if you're thinking about a metal shop, or what do you call it? Metal cutting?
Yeah.
Okay, metal. I thought there's got to be a proper word. I'm not finding the word, but there's got to be. Okay, so metal cutting. You know, like Trisha mentioned, she had to invest. Now that's just a fancy word saying some money. Okay, that you're going to spend some money. Okay, so investment means you're going to spend some money on the tools that you need to craft your craft, right? So I feel like this assessment is going to make you also take a good look at maybe some stuff that you're going to need to buy for your business, which will help you set up goals.
And you know what? There might be somebody who's really good at knitting. And they don't need a lot of space.
That's not. And
they don't need a lot of investment.
Yeah, that's not.
But the thing that they need to know is, will people buy this?
Yeah.
And do people want knitted pot holders anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
I do. So if you're making them, you can send them to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But that's part of the class is learning to find your market and who wants to buy your product and how to find those people.
Yeah.
When I first started metal cutting, I just cut everything. And I had no idea what they wanted. And I found out real quickly what they wanted, what they didn't.
Yeah,
and I went to a show, and that's how I learned, is just talking to people. And one of the first people that came up to buy my stuff, he said, "Oh, you're new, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is my first show." And he said, "Good, because this is so underpriced that like I feel like I'm stealing this from you." And I was like,
"That's good."
Oh no.
Yeah, you're like, "Excuse me, let me get my red pen out real quick. I'm closed for 10 minutes, y'all. Closed for 10 minutes for inventory check. That'll be $50. That'll be $60. Yeah.
You know, so research is something that's a part of it, and learning what the value of what you're putting out there. It's not what you'll pay for it.
Right.
It's what the value of the market presents. And so that's kind of what my workshop goes over. It's just my workshop is a $47 workshop, and it's a pretty good
Hang on a
workshop.
minute. What is that, $47?
Yeah.
See, I'm sitting there going, I don't know if you want to share your price right here, because I'm thinking, $400 or $500, $47 for your, and is it a day thing, hour thing?
It's a one-day thing. You can upgrade it to a VIP and get some Q&A with me and get a little bit more work with me.
Right.
But I am doing a course as well. I'm not finished with that course, so that'll be a little more deeper dive into where they want to go. Some people want to create a service-based business, and some people want to create a product-based business, and they're two different things. So you're not going to sell a landscaping business like you are a knitting business.
Oh yeah, that is two separate things. Yeah.
So I mean,
not that you're going to go sit on the landscape knit. I guess you could do that as a package deal.
You can't sell landscaping on Etsy. I'm sorry.
You can. You just go. You take a picture of you knitting by your landscape.
There you go.
Then you sell that picture on landscape. Your picture on. I'm sorry, Etsy. Yeah. Okay. This goes way deeper. So $47. Now I'm just trying to get information. I don't know. We just did this show on the spare because I just thought I got her here. I'm going to keep her here for a minute. I'm a pick her brain. So is that in-person teaching, online teaching? What is that?
It's just an online class.
An online class. Good to know. But the reason why I mention it is because the networks that carry my show are carrying them all over the place. So I didn't want to exclude anybody that's like not in Lee Summit, Raymore, Belton, whatever, Pleasant Hill, all around us. So it's an online class, and you charge $47 and break down the structure, not really quickly, but the structure. So you said first you do an assessment.
Yes, take the assessment. That's a free assessment. So you don't even have to sign up for the workshop for that yet.
Free.
No, that's right on my website. Take it and
we're going to get on our website at the end of this thing, so stay tuned.
But first we're going to find out if you know what you want to create, what you want to do. So you got to understand what kind of business you want.
Yeah.
And then you want to find the people and the market that you can sell to. And then it's how you sell it. So
assessment
the what, we got to find the what.
What?
We got to find the who.
The who.
And the how.
The how. See how I did that? The what? The
who.
The who.
And the how.
And the how. Okay, I got it. The
Or
what?
Dr.
The who,
Seuss.
I kind of feel like I'm going to start writing a Dr. Seuss book in about a minute. But yeah, so in essence, you need to figure out their passion.
Yes.
Like, what do you wake up thinking about? What occupies a lot of your time?
And see, I didn't ever think I would be in metalwork either. So that is kind of a misconception. They don't have to be passionate about that business to really enjoy doing it, and to maybe someday pass it off to someone else that can do it for you to still keep that business running.
And keep it going. Well, do you think I think maybe you start it, maybe you're not starting out passionate about it, but once you see people light up, when you see your product, I can honestly say that some of the, learning how to cook, I really just did that out of necessity, y'all. I didn't know how to cook, and I had a family. So I thought, I need to know how to cook, because we were on a military budget, so going out to eat every night was not going to happen. So I did have to learn how to cook. But when I started learning how to cook, it wasn't that big of a passion to learn how to cook. It was out of necessity. But once my family started tasting my food and going, this is better than hamburger helper. This is better than tuna helper. This is better than dirty rice. Not that I have anything against any of those things, right? Okay, do you? But once my family started, and I'd make my little girls their own little loaf of bread. like mini loaf of bread and set it, and they would have their own plate and their own honey butter. And when I see my little girls cutting into their little homemade loaf of bread, putting their little honey butter all over it and going, oh my gosh, Mama, that became my passion.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, my passion became giving joy to others. That became my passion. And that's still my passion today.
And you know what, the feedback that I got, the reviews that I got, I can't tell you how many people have emailed me after and said, my husband cried when I gave him this gift.
See?
Like
that would create passion.
Yeah, it was that personal to them.
Yeah.
You know, I did a lot of custom work too.
Yeah.
And then I teach that too, like how to make a custom item without spending a full day on a custom item. You know, how to automate, customize stuff and make it special to the person.
Wow.
But not take up all your time.
It sounds like to me that you have such valuable lessons to teach, and that price, that entry price of $47 to have this time with you. How long does the online class? About an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah.
About an hour, okay. And then they can upgrade. I guess there'll be an upgrade if they want to have personal one-on-one time with you to even ask more questions at a later time.
Right.
Once they've had their assessment, then have the hour class, I'm sure they're left with, I don't know. Some can maybe just go off on that and just do their thing from that point on.
Right.
But my personality would be like, okay, now I need some one-on-one time with you.
Yeah.
I need to know, okay, I got a plan, but I don't even know how to execute it at this point. So that's, man. And this is all steered from you sitting in traffic, being late for your child's baseball game, and in tears, and you're just like, I got to find a way where I can be at home and raise my family, because that was your heart, right? Mm-hmm. But also fulfill the desires of my heart, which is to bring in income to my family, help with the income, and do something creative with my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was luckily, my last 2 children, I was working at home then, so I didn't have to leave the babies, you know?
Wow.
And so I know that just rips a mom's heart out when they have to go back to work and they have a baby.
Yeah.
And that expense of childcare is outrageous.
It is.
You know,
really,
you
really
weigh
bad.
the options of, do I pay this and then net this, or can I be at home and create my own thing?
Right.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, Trish. This came to my. Do you mind me calling Trish? I'm like, we're that good friends now, you know. Trisha, can I just shorten your name down to Trish? By the end of this, I'll just call her T. Okay, I'll go signing off with T now. Bye bye. Peace. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, this reminds me of this. Right when you said it, just ripped a mom's heart out. I got this vision where I was at Trader Joe's, and I have a flower ministry at Trader Joe's where God is over a decade has just sent me to random women every time I go. He shows me who to buy them for. He says to tell them that they were on his mind. God bless them, and he wanted to buy them flowers, right? That's the ministry, cut and dry. Well, one day I was in a hurry, and it was the only day. For over a decade, I went there just very patient, but this day I wasn't. And so I couldn't find the lady. Every aisle I went down, I just could not hear the voice of God. And I thought, this is strange. I've been doing this for over a decade. And so I get in line. So telling on myself. I get in line behind a woman that already has flowers. And I'm about to do this. I seriously got that close to her back, her shoulder, right? I'm going to tap her and say, ma'am, let me buy you those flowers today. You are on God's mind, right? And I went like that, and God said, turn around. Loud in my spirit, turn around. I turned around. This was this mama with her baby in the cart, in his little, not car seat, his carrier, you know? And he was in the buggy, and he said, that's her. So I was like, and I already started tearing up because I was missing God, because I was about to do something that he did not want me to do. And so I went over there, I said, ma'am, and I said what I just told you. And she, boom, started crying, whoosh. And she goes, how did you know? How did you know? And I said, I did not know. I just want to clear this up right now. I was about to buy flowers for this woman. I said, the Lord told me to turn around, it was you. And that ministered to her. And then she's just crying, and through her sobbing tears and her quivering voice, she said, I can't believe that you've offered to do this for me. She goes, I just left the daycare that I have to drop my newborn off on Monday morning. This was a Friday. And she said it was the hardest thing that I get teary-eyed talking about. She said, it was just hard for me to know that I've got to drop my son off Monday morning and leave him. And I was like, well, let's pray, and everything's going to be okay. Your son's going to be okay. Let's pray about that. And then let's pick you out some flowers, okay? And that's what that reminded me of, is how many women that you're going to touch that have the heart of that woman. I pray to God, that woman at Trader Joe's that day, somehow sees this episode, because you're going to need to reach out to Trisha if you're still having that torn heart. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't be in the work field, but if you're still feeling torn like that and you really want to be home, that is your desire. You've always wanted to do that. And I'm trying to make it clear to the women that choose to work in the work field, there is no shame.
Right.
You know, we're not throwing shade at you, okay?
Yeah.
You know, I worked sometimes at night to help bring finances in, you know. There's no shade, okay? We're talking about the women that their desire is to create and then help with the income and then be at home, okay? That's who we're talking to.
Yeah.
And that's the woman I thought about today as we're talking, is that it's those women that you're gonna reach, and that's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to price this to where they
feel like they need a second job.
Yeah, just to pay for that.
Yeah, I need a second job just to pay for her to teach me how to have a job at home. Yeah, I feel like your price is, like I said, I was hesitant because I was like, I don't know if she wants to share the price, because I thought, you know, $500 for this course, you know, or for this teaching, and it's $47. We've got 2 minutes, so I'm gonna quiet down. And I want Trisha to tell you all the information, how you can get a hold of her if you're that mama or dad that wants to stay at home and create his. Do you have or a man that wants to stay at home and raise his children and do what?
Yeah, I just specialize in women because I know my heart.
Yeah,
you know, and it's just,
but I mean, reality is there's men out there raising their children by themselves, and they may see this episode and say, "What about me? What about me?"
Right.
Well, we got you covered.
Yeah. So you can go to TrishaMaxwell.com. My assessment is right on the top. It's free to take. Then you'll get an email with your results and the next step. You can take that workshop. You can follow up with that with the course. And then I do offer high-level coaching as well. So if you do get into that business and you really want to take it to the next level, you just reach out to me and we do one-on-ones. And that's where you really see some huge difference and make an impact. So.
Wow. And did you tell them your website?
Oh,
page?
TrishaMaxwell.com is the website. I don't know if I said that. And Trisha Maxwell Growth Coach is Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube as well. So.
All of them. So I want you to repeat your website one more time.
TrishaMaxwell.com. That's TRISHA.
Yeah, I feel like
TrishaMaxwell.com.
Okay. That's important to spell it, right? Because people are like, I'll get emails. I never found the woman, you know. So, I'm not trying to be obsessive about it, but let's spell it one more time. And so we make clear how people get a hold. I got a feeling people want to get a hold.
Yeah, it's TRISHA and then Maxwell, MAXWELL.
Okay, now that couldn't be any. Okay,
right.
So even if you have to pause it, get that written down. Reach out to Trisha, especially if your mama's out there having a heart, then you're torn between going to work and staying at home, but you have an idea in your head. Don't sleep on it. Okay, just don't sleep on that idea, because God may have just already downloaded that for you, waiting for you to see this episode and get to the right tools in your hand.
Yep.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate you.
I just thank you for tuning in to your Vertical Hope for today. And as always, go out there and be willing to be an answer to somebody else's prayer. Why? Because it will change you. Not only them, but you. All right, until we see each other again, I bless you. Bye-bye.